we got a badass main event. Tatsuro Taira versus Young Sung Park. Young Sung Park. And a lot of fun fights on this card. Lots of prospects. I don't know if I'd necessarily say fun fights, but a lot of guys to look out for. Co-main event sick. We got Mateus Rebecki, Chris Duncan. That's awesome. Esteban Ribovic. Fucking Elvis Brenner. Another sick one. We got some names on here. Dos Santos, Magny, and, Kevin Vallejos. That's, yeah, baby. The next coming of Ilya Tapuria. We love that shit. Yeah, that's the card right there. But obviously a sick main event now. I think the last one, I can't even remember the guy's name that Tatsuro Taira was supposed to fight. But sure as shit, we've got a better matchup here in Young Sung Park. Guy that's actually come out there and fight, and we could see a finish in this fight. So stick around. I'm gonna go ahead and just say, last card we didn't do amazing, we didn't do bad. We got some nice picks right. We got some some hardcore type of picks right. We also looked real stupid with that Carlos Leal pick, just like everybody else. I went down real bad in the beginning of the card, down $200 starting out, didn't know what to do. I slapped on a big ass parlay. We just smacked that shit. Save our night. We also take Rainer DeRitter in the main event. We do what we do. We actually did pretty decent, some hardcore picks, and let's carry it on this week. Let's do a little bit. Let's clean it up a little bit. So, starting us off, let's get into it. Starting us off, we got Tatsuro Taira versus Young Sung Park for the main event of the evening. Now, guys, this one's actually going to be a little bit closer than everybody thinks, man. Young Sung Park is actually going to dominate Tatsuro Taira on the feet. That's going to be the official prediction, that he is going to win on the feet. He's going to be beating up Tatsuro Taira. I could actually see him getting a third-round finish. I don't know if I want to go as far as to pick that, because I do think Tatsuro Taira's wrestling and grappling is just undeniable. But here's the thing about this Young Sung Park kid. He's undefeated, and if he wasn't undefeated, I would pick him, but I think he's going to get his first L. I see Tatsuro Taira being in a lot of trouble if he doesn't get the grappling off. Ultimately, I just don't know what this guy's takedown defense really looks like, and what his gas tank looks like wrestling for 3 rounds. Because I think Tatsuro Taira is going to get fucked up on the feet. I could definitely see this fight. I don't see this fight going the distance at all. I think this is going to be a finish here. So I'm going to go with Tatsuro Taira to get a finish in round 4 or 5 by submission. And if that's not the case, I see Young Sung Park getting a round 3 knockout. So I think taking this fight by Tatsuro Taira by submission or Young Sung Park by KO, I think that's a pretty good pick. That's a pretty hardcore pick right there. So we're going to go with Tatsuro Taira, though. I just think the grappling is going to be too much. This guy's fucking insane in grappling, man. He's like a monkey. Next up, this one's a sick fight. This one's a good fight. We got Mateus Rebecki versus Chris Duncan. Now, Chris Duncan looked good in his last performance against Jordan Vucenic. But here's the thing, guys. Jordan Vucenic clearly proved that he is autistic and a brain-dead fighter. I lost money on that fight. I don't know what the fuck I was watching. Right when he starts to look good on the feet, he goes and shoots. I'm not even going to get into it. Regardless, I think Chris Duncan, this is kind of a matchup that he loses. I think Mateus Rebecki is actually a little bit smarter. He's got a blockhead of a chin, too, as well. I don't think this fight goes outside of 1.5. I think it'll end pretty soon. I think Mateus Rebecki will end up landing a big shot on Chris Duncan and probably get him out of there. I'm going to go with Mateus Rebecki. I could see some... I can't see Chris Duncan latching up a random submission or anything, and he definitely likes to swing and bang on the feet. So I think Mateus Rebecki is just going to be a little bit better than him. People underrate Mateus Rebecki a little bit. He's got good footwork, good, he's a smart fighter too. You could tell he's an IQ guy too, while also being like a Chuck Meat overhand right type of guy. So kind of a shitty breakdown, I'm not going to lie, but Mateus Rebecki is going to be the official pick. I've got him by finish in this one. That's what it's going to be. Next up, this is also a tough fight because I don't think either of these guys are that great, and I don't think they're that bad. I think they're just mid-level guys. I don't think Esteban Ribovic, dude, I can't pronounce all these names tonight. I see this one being a real close fight. I think both these guys are junkyard dogs, split decision written all over it. I could see Elvis Brenner taking over in round 3. I don't know. Both these guys are junkyard dogs. I'm not even going to sit here and try to put a prediction out there. I do think Esteban is going to be a little bit cleaner. Elvis wears damage a little bit more than Esteban does. So I think just optics alone, I'm going to go with Esteban Ribovic. And I think if there is a finish, it will be on the Esteban side. He's got the nice knees. He's got, I don't know. He's sharper on the feet. I'm just going to go with Esteban Ribovic. Kind of a tough fight to predict, though, because Elvis Brenner is a fucking dog, and I don't think Esteban's all that. So we are going to be picking him, though. I think he's just a little bit sharper, so I think that's good enough for me. Next up, Carol Rosa versus Nora Cannoli. I do like the come forward pressure of Nora Cannoli. I think that kind of stifles Carol Rosa's game a little bit, and we've also seen Carol Rosa lose a fight against Irene Aldana, I think is her name, when she was just coming forward, getting her legs chewed up. That's really all Carol Rosa is. She's a leg kick merchant, and I think Nora Cannoli will be able to come forward and kind of put a stop to a little bit of that, hands over the top, time a leg kick or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, Carol Rosa's game's figured out by this point. I think Nora Cannoli will come forward like she did in that fight against Jacqueline Cavalcanti or whatever the fuck her name is. Anywho, we're going with Nora Cannoli for the underdog pick. I think that's my first underdog. Yeah, it's the first underdog of the card that I'm picking. Although those fights up top, man, I could see them going either way. So this is definitely going to be a tougher night to bet if you're looking just to take all the favorites. We've seen all these upsets happen too recently, so maybe it'll get back on track. But I am going to be fading here Neil Magny versus Zaleski dos Santos. I'm going to be picking I'm going to be picking Dos Santos. You know what it is, man. I don't see where the fuck Neil Magny wins this fight at. I don't think he, can smudge him. I don't think he beats him on the ground. I don't think he beats him on the feet. I don't care if he's got a reach advantage. I think Dos Santos is a lot better than that. I think he's better than Neil Magny. I think Neil Magny's over the hill, over the cliff, and I'm going to be picking Dos Santos to win this fight. I just don't see where Magny wins it. I could see this one just being a decision. I think, Neil Magny does get to his decision. 29-28 for Dos Santos. I could see Neil Magny maybe winning a round. I don't know. I honestly, I could also see a 30-27 because I just don't see where the fuck Magny beats him. I've seen some people talking about, Magny's a sneaky dude, fuck that, dude. If you're betting on Magny, you're a fucking retard. This isn't a guy like Mike Malott that's got quit in him and will just give up in round 3 and let himself get TKO'd. So I'm going with Dos Santos. He's a dog, and I think he's got power, everything advantage. So let's go with that. Sorry about the ear rape. Fucking Kevin Vallejos, man. One of my favorite fighters on the roster. I'm fucking pumped to watch him fight. He's fighting a guy in Danny Silva who I kind of compare him to like a Andre Philly type of guy. He's not bad at all. He's definitely a good little test for Kevin Vallejos. A good little name to put him on the map because I think Danny Silva is pretty decent. There will be a striking masterclass here, though, for Kevin Vallejos. I see him getting him out of there at the end of round 1. I think this guy's hands are just the fastest. He's got the fastest hands I've ever seen in MMA, in sports, and combat. And this guy is just fucking quick. You could tell he's an athlete. He's got dog in him. He's got a chin. He's got great defense. He's got that Ilia Topuria style. This guy is the second coming of Ilia Topuria, and I think he's actually got a higher ceiling than Ilia Topuria. He is young, though, so obviously the mindset isn't going to be the same level of confidence and whatnot as Ilia Topuria. But with him, getting older, winning fights, getting the finishes that he's expected to get, I only see his confidence, skill level, all of that going up and up. And Kevin Vallejos is going to be the certified fucking stamp it, lock of the card, put your whole bank account on it if you want, just a straight money line. That shit ain't going nowhere. Kevin Vallejos is getting it done, playing by KO because that's what's happening. So I'm going to pick Kevin Vallejos. I just see too many openings, too, for Danny Silva when he is ripping to the body and whatnot. I think Kevin Vallejos going to crack him with a right, and that'll be it. So I'm all over Kevin Vallejos this fight. Sick fucking guy. Sick guy. Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. Now, I got a bone to pick with this motherfucker. I am pretty confident he threw his last fight, or he's just a dumb fuck wrestler who thinks he's got hands. And I think I'm going to be leaning towards the second one against Muin Gafurov. Rinya Nakamura could have shot takedowns. He's got this wrestling pedigree, but this is the same shit we see with these American wrestlers coming in, thinking they could fucking strike. Same shit with Rinya Nakamura. He already proved to me that he's got shit IQ. He's getting his ass whipped on the feet, and he continues to stay on the feet, doesn't shoot takedowns. He's a dumb fuck. I don't care if he's a minus 400 favorite. I'm picking Nathan Fletcher. I think Nathan Fletcher wants it more. I think he's got that belief in himself. I think he's going to come back hungry after that loss to Callan Loughran, which he got robbed in. So I'm picking Nathan Fletcher. Fuck Rinya Nakamura. This is a hardcore pick, man. It is. Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. Now, I was super tempted to pick Tresean Gore here. I really want to, but man, you can't be losing to Cody Brundage. You just can't be doing it. Now we're gonna ride, man. We're picking no. No. He won't get the sub. He won't get the standing guillotine against Rodolfo Vieira. This guy's got the pedigree. Surely he doesn't get the guillotine. I do think his striking is a little bit better than Tresean Gore, but I'm going to be leaning towards Rodolfo Vieira to be able to get some grappling going, kind of win some moments. I don't think this goes to decision. I'm kind of seeing a finish here, either on the feet for Tresean Gore. This, I think, another spot where you can kind of play the KO or sub for Rodolfo or KO for Tresean Gore. I don't think he's that bad. He kind of impressed me in that last fight against, don't fucking know his name, but the Brazilian prospect. His chin impressed me, but after taking an ass whooping like that, man, I don't know. So I'm going to be leaning towards the safer side with Rodolfo Vieira, whatever the fuck his name is. I just think he's, Tresean not being able to one-trick pony his way to a standing guillotine. I'm going to go with Rodolfo Vieira just because of that factor alone, I suppose. But I don't really think Rodolfo Vieira is all that. I could definitely see Tresean Gore coming in there, beating him up on the feet and kind of getting an upset win. So I don't think it's the case. I'm going to go with Rodolfo Vieira. Played a little bit safe here. Next up, we've got Nick Klein versus Andre Puliev. Kind of a tougher fight to predict here. I do think it's going to be an Andre Puliev late second round, third round finish. Nick Klein, he's going to go in there. If he's got that same stance as he did in that last fight, I could see him getting high kicked. Although Andre Puliev likes that rear leg, that right leg high kick, and Nick Klein kind of likes to stand orthodox, with that left leg forward, his head dipping the other side. So Andre Puliev's probably going to see that. He's probably going to be looking for the high kicks all fight, especially with Nick Klein dipping his head in as much. And also the knees, I think, will be there for Andre Puliev. I think Nick Klein will have success in the first round, will take the first round, but I think Andre Puliev has decent enough takedown defense to kind of gas out Nick Klein. But at the same time, I'm not touching this fight with a 10-foot pole. So, Andre Puliev is going to be the pick, but I don't love it. I think the odds are spot on. I actually kind of like this to be a -115, because I could see Nick Klein getting the wrestling going and having success with it. But I think Andre Puliev is good enough, kind of knows what's coming for him. He's going to be throwing shots up the middle. He is more of a linear fighter as well. So I'm going to be picking Andre Puliev. This isn't CLD, so he should have a lot more success on the feet and, be able to let the hands go a little bit more. But like I said, that wrestling threat of Nick Klein is there. So I'm kind of fence sitting this one, but I'm picking Andre Puliev. Won't be betting on it. Okay. Next up, we got Austin Bashi versus John Yanis. I actually don't even know who John Yanis is, but I'm going to be picking Austin Bashi because he lost his zeros. He's now 13-1, so the curse has been uplifted. I think he'll come back in here. He's probably made a lot of adjustments from his last fraud check. He will be able to get the wrestling going. This kid is a little bit of a freak athlete. I don't care who this John Yanis kid is. He doesn't have a picture. I'm picking Austin Bashi to go ahead, bounce back, have a nice bounce back performance, and get the job done. I think this fight was just added as well. So if I had to pick somebody to be more ready to go, it's going to be Austin Bashi with the freak athleticism. Okay, Rafael Esteban versus Felipe Bunez. Kind of a tricky fight here because, Rafael Esteban, he always wins the first 2 rounds. He's got great grappling. I think the play here is going to be, looking at the takedown lines and seeing where it's at, because Felipe Bunez, jiu-jitsu guy, likes going to his back, doesn't really have the greatest takedown defense. It's just whether or not he can get the job done in round 3. So obviously a flyer bet, something that's going to be live is going to be Felipe Bunez submission round 3. I could see him shooting a shitty shot, but after going against Jesus Aguilar, who's got a really good guillotine, and Rafael, defending that off well and being responsible, I don't think it's there. I think I'm going to pick Rafael Esteban, but I won't be betting on this one because I just don't think there's any value with the potential third round upset that Rafael Esteban has when he gasses out every fucking fight without failure every single time. So, yeah, I'm going to be picking Rafael. Don't love it, though. I'd stay away from this one as well. This is another parlay buster. And last fight of the card, I'm kind of ripping through this shit. Ketlin Sosa versus Piera Rodriguez. Now, I think Ketlin Sosa is actually pretty good. I think she got a nice little fraud check. This is going to be a sneaky good women's fight because both these girls are diked up. They're ready to go, and, they're going to throw their fucking hands and they're going to let it go. Ketlin Sosa is going to be more the one to have the striking advantage, I think, on the feet. She is going to dominate a little bit more. She's a little bit, she chucks, man. She does chuck. But Piera Rodriguez has that wrestling advantage. At the end of the day, though, I am going to be picking the fighter that I think could put more damage out, which is going to be Ketlin Sosa. So I think this would be a close fight, 29-28. I could even see a split decision. A couple judges just scoring the damage a little bit more that Ketlin Sosa is going to be able to do. So that's gonna be it. This is kind of a shorter breakdown. This card's kind of sleeper. It's kind of dog shit. There's like 2 or 3 good fights on here, and we got Kevin Vallejos. So, that's sick. I will be dropping a parlay. I'm probably gonna drop a short on Thursday, just a super quick picks, and I'm gonna leave a parlay in there. I'll probably be putting out a solid 500 to a grand this card, just because Kevin Vallejos is on it. When you have an opportunity to bet on greatness, I said this about Ilia Topuria. I said this about Alessandro Pantoja. When you have these opportunities, you can't miss them. I will be betting Kevin Vallejos all the way up to the top, and you'll never see me fade that guy. And whenever there's a fighter that I will never fade, it's hard to not bet on him. So I'll be all over him this fight. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys. You'll probably see me around later this week. But anyways, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care. I'm out.